Hello and welcome to another video. I'm out on a foraging walk. I'm looking for mushrooms and I'm quite excited because I suspect that we're going to find some really interesting species. Across our first mushroom of the day. Ooh. I believe we have a clouded funnel here, and you might not think that this is a funnel because it's not got that classic funnel shaped cap. But the clouded funnel can start convex like a lot of funnel cap mushrooms, and then its cap will upturn as it ages. Clouded funnel is not an edible mushroom. Some people might assume that all funnel caps are edible. That is not true. There's some more of them down here. Lovely stuff. We have another mushroom. Another mushroom. This is an interesting one. Mushroom is definitely a type of blewit, judging by the colour. It's got notched gills and it has a sort of purpley hue to it. We've also got another mushroom here. Oof. This is a funnel cap, as you can see. The very tall mushroom is the trooping funnel. The trooping funnel is an edible mushroom, but you do need to be careful because it does have a couple of poisonous lookalikes, and funnel caps are also known to cause gastric upset in a lot of people. So while this is technically classed as an edible mushroom, I personally wouldn't advise it. Really common mushroom that you can find in the grass at this time of year is the snowy wax cap, and the snowy wax cap has that completely white cap, stem, gills, flesh, and it's quite waxy or a little bit sticky on the surface, hence it's called a wax cap. And it has these very delicate, decurrent, very spaced out gills. So remember that there are always other edibles and medicinal plants available to you at this time of year. So these are rose hips. All rose hips are edible as long as you remove the spiky, sort of pithy area in the centre and leave yourself with just the flesh. We've also got some common hogweed down here. This is an edible that you can find pretty much all year round, but it's more prolific in the spring. There's also a common hogweed, but this one has actually got flowers on it still. The leaves of this one look a little bit more like the giant hogweed, but as long as you have a really furry stem with no blotching on it, no purple blotching, you should be safe. Despite most of the leaves being gone, this hawthorn tree does still have berries on it. Hawthorn is extremely high in pectin, and as some of you will probably know, pectin is the stuff that you use to make jams and jellies. So you can actually add hawthorn to your fruit levers and to your jams and your jellies to help it set, instead of commercially bought pectin. The mushroom that we have growing down here is a very easy mushroom to identify because of its spines instead of gills. So you can see it's a capped mushroom. It has spines instead of gills, and the stem is not actually central to the cap. And this is a hedgehog fungus. You'll likely see two main kinds of hedgehog fungus here in the UK. You'll have the common and the terracotta. The common is the lighter one and the terracotta is the darker one. So this is a fantastic edible mushroom. We've just picked this mushroom, and you see how similar these mushrooms look. Here we have a very mature example of an amethyst sativa. I know this is the amethyst sativa because it's got purple everything, gills, stem, cap, and those purple gills are going to be the main distinctive feature that will help you to distinguish between its poisonous lookalikes, the lilac bonnet and the lilac fibre cap. The amethyst sativa can deceive you, so it can look like something that it's not. So this is a very common edible fungus or edible mushroom, and really important that you familiarise yourself with its poisonous lookalikes. Here's another old amethyst sativa. It's got an upturned cap You see the gills look ever so slightly decurrent on this one as well. But on this one, you can't really tell. But this one with the upturned cap, the gills are still purple. There's no white. And there's no grey and there's no green. So you can be confident that even though they look very different, you can be confident that these are both amethyst deceivers. Here in this leaf litter, we have spotted the remains of a goblet funnel cap. And the goblet funnel cap is smaller than a lot of the other funnel caps. So we've got a trooping funnel here that we can compare it to. So significantly smaller. And this mushroom is classed as edible. However, this can cause anaphylaxis, adverse reaction, gastric upset. All sorts of funny things can happen if you eat this mushroom. So this is one that I would not advise picking to eat, especially when it's in this condition, because a mushroom in this sort of condition is a lot harder to identify than a mushroom in prime condition. Some common puffballs down here that are mature. So if you tap them, the spores come out the top. We're going to add this to our little pile. The two mushrooms of concern, I would say, are these two, and that's because even though next to each other they're obviously different species, if you only saw one or the other, it could be quite easy to get these mixed up. The mushroom we have here is definitely a bluet, a wood bluet, and I know that because if you see here, the gills are attached to the stem, the flesh is sort of a consistent colour, there's that white fibrous inner flesh of the stem, and the margin is ever so slightly enrolled, not very much, just a little bit. This is also a bluet, but I believe this is a dirty bluet because it has that sort of central bump or umbro. The stem has broken off. The stem is a lot more dainty. The gills are notched or sinuate. Hopefully you can see that. They've got a little notch on them. And it smells quite good. Prize edible find of the day, however, has got to be this common hedgehog. Very, very happy with that. And the hedgehog fungus is edible, it's safe. There's not really much that looks like it. And it's got those characteristic spines instead of gills. However, you must remove the spines before you eat it and cook it well. Oh, yay, lucky us. We found a couple of really, really good edible fungi. We found the amethyst deceiver, we found some bluets, and we also found the hedgehog fungus. Now, it's really, really important that even if you are 100% sure you don't eat a whole mushroom the first time you find it, take a little piece of it, take it home, and if you are going to eat it, just try a little bit. Only try one new mushroom at a time as well, just in case you have an adverse reaction. Do not eat anything unless you are 100% sure of its identification. And if you are not 100% sure, then leave it behind. You can always take mushrooms home and do spore prints with them to help with your identification. But the absolutely best thing to do is to book a course and go out with a professional. Mushrooms are very, very complex, and it's been absolutely fantastic to find a mushroom with spines instead of gills, because gills and pores are the most common things that you see. So spines and teeth are another example of spore releasing surfaces, and they are found on the underside of the cap, just like gills and pores. So yeah, it's been really, really good to find some mushrooms, and I hope that this was helpful. And yeah, make sure that you get out there, get your hands in the dirt, be safe, and find some mushrooms. Thanks for watching.